What's up, guys? Talon back with a video. Just got the 7850 installed into my system. It was kind of a pain with the AMD drivers. I had to actually roll back to an older driver to get it to run, and I was having trouble with Relive not working properly and then turning the mic on and off, and it would just randomly shut off. So something with AMD drivers, kind of weird, not as good as Shadowplay, that it just seems like Relive just failing, just turning off for no reason at all. And I can't even say, oh, it's an old, because it's an older GPU. If it's a supported GPU, it's a supported GPU, right? It's working, but definitely having some issues to get it to continue to run and record the gameplay that I wanted to record. I think I finally got it figured out. I'm running a couple versions older on the drivers. They seem to be running, and I got the card overclocked after, again, issues with drivers, locking the card at 150 and 150. No matter what I did, it would just fail. Running some issues with trying to get my 1920 by 1080 to run at 144 hertz. It seems to be locking it out at 120. So not sure if that's a problem with the display port that's on the card, or what it precisely is causing that issue, but I think I finally got it figured out, and we are at least up and running. That guy's an asshole. All I was trying to do is shoot his truck. I'm trying to record, and he's shooting me. But I finally got it up and running. We're running 1920 by 1080 on the min spec HD 7850 2GB card, and I'm with a modern 8700K. I'm trying to show you guys what it would game like if, let's say, you had a more modern CPU and an older HD 7850. Maybe that's all you have laying around, or it was donated from somebody. Maybe you have a pre-built system with an i7, and you're like, hey, I got this 7850 from my friend. You know, can I throw this in and get a decent gaming experience out of it and play Battlefield V, which is unreleased. It's going to be a AAA title, very demanding game. It's extremely demanding. It's really demanding, even on my 1080 Ti and my, let's see if we can get some health here. Couldn't see him, the smoke, and, you know, the frames per second didn't really help there. But, you know, that situation, can you get a good gaming experience out of it? So my feelings right now are kind of it's not bad, but it's not a great gaming experience. Let's just put it that way. It's the first time an airplane's been available, so I'm definitely going to spawn in. Okay, cool, can do that. All right, the gaming experience so far on this card is not a terrible gaming experience. It's just, you know, it's what you'd probably expect from a card that's, I don't know, what is this, 4 years old at least? I haven't even looked at the age of the card. I don't know if that's mine. I didn't even look. I don't know. It doesn't have a tag. Looks like a British fighter or British bomber. Yeah, it's British for sure, right? Yeah. Let's just fire on to be sure, right? I can reload here. Okay, cool. Right now at 90. Yeah. Oh, it didn't even hurt me. 90 frames a second with this old card at 1920 by 1080 and low settings. Kind of not bad, right? What do I have here? Okay, so I've got those. What are these? Okay, cool. So it looks like, use my cannon real quick. Let's see, what can we take out down there? See if we can see anybody. Can't look around. It's the first time I've been in the plane. It looks like I don't have bombs. It's a Spitfire, so it's probably do an emergency repair real fast. Looks like we just got hit. Okay, here's a Luftwaffe, or a Stuka. Yeah. Turn into it. Okay, run energy here, get some speed back up. He's running. He's got those speed brakes, so he can really slow down. Got his wing off, it looks like. He's going out, I'm out. Ran out of energy, couldn't turn there. Mouse settings just not. Prop is still spinning, that's crazy. We're going to continue this fight on the ground, me and him. Where'd he go? That might have been him. I'm not really sure. I think it was. You can see we're down to 52 frames a second. Still a playable gaming experience, though. Looks like I got a kill there. Here's some more guys in the houses. That's my guy. All right, cool. This is definitely not terrible. I've been kind of tinkering around with it a little bit to kind of see what would it take to get a 60 frame per second experience. You guys can see 1920 by 1080, 120 hertz. I've got a lot of these extra effects turned off, right? And we are at low settings with 100% resolution scale. We cannot mess with this future frame rendering. Render ahead limit. Let's just try 2. I think somebody said something about like that would make a difference the other day in the chat. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be really. Render ahead limit 1. I don't see it making a difference. Actually, it seemed like it made it work when I ran outside. It really does nothing. Okay, so that did nothing. Burning here. The only option it seems like we're going to have then is turn this to, you can't go any lower than low. So low, I can't do future frame rendering because that seems to not to be changing here. Right? It's not doing anything. I don't even think it's working. I've attempted this. So it's not working. Basically, the only thing we can do at this point is, guys, is we're going to turn this down. So it's creating some resolutions in between, it looks like. So we're going to try this 1856 by 1392. Yeah, we're going to have to do that at 120 screen. I don't know what this is going to look like. That's just weird. It's stretched. It looks... I actually think that's worse. I don't know how that's possible. We'll just try 1600 by 900, which I think is the next resolution in line at 1600 by 900. Okay, 1600 by 900, 144. So it's probably beyond the DisplayPort limitation at that point. Just keep lighting on fire. I don't know what I'm running into there. Just see if we can get a decent gaming experience.
Attention, we are losing objective Charlie.
I mean, it's like 60 frames per second most of the time, so this is a pretty good gaming experience. I'm wondering if DICE's min spec is probably aiming for 720p at low settings, being the minimum spec. But even the 1600, 900, which is above HD but not quite full HD, definitely seems to be running pretty damn well. I mean, I'm getting above 60 frames per second, it seems like, most of the time. And I'm in this is probably the busiest, most action-packed area of the map as far as, like, you know, what's going on with the physics and the buildings and the destruction. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this area. Oh, I got like a flare. I think I might have hit him with the flare. He took me out of the Panzerfaust. Or another player did. So I'll show you guys, if I don't play in this area, which I think is about the lowest frames you're going to get. You can see right now we're getting 74 frames a second. If I spawn somewhere else at 1600 by 900 with low settings and not in Charlie, because this is, again, where you're going to get the lowest frames per second on the alpha anyway. How is it going to perform? I think we should get, you know, above 60 frames per second, maybe just a little bit better than we were doing. So you can see we're up to 70 there, 66, 63, looking up towards the center of the map. So really not bad. We're going to go ahead, we're going to try 720p as our last test, which is, I think I just got killed. You know, let's try 1440 by 900p. I think that's another interval that will work at 16:9 aspect ratio pretty well as far as the way the pixels turn out. And again, drop the resolution down a little bit, and that is a much smoother gaming experience. Starting to get down to a pretty good smooth gaming experience. 1440p by 900, or 14. What was I at? 1440 by 900. Yeah, I think 1440 by 900p, and this seems to be a pretty good sweet spot as far as the way the game looks. I'll try one more at 720p. I actually think this is really good. You're getting 80 frames a second. You're starting to really start to feel it smooth out. So it'll higher frames give you that lower input lag. It's still, if you're playing on a 1080p screen, this wouldn't be as difficult to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, because the pixels aren't going to be stretched as much. I'm playing on a 1440p screen, so you could definitely play this on your 1080p screen. Have a good gaming experience. Got a couple kills there. And be competitive. I think that this would be definitely a competitive setting that you could play at and get away with even an old 7852 gigabyte card. So this can't be, that 5600 can't be the VRAM utilization. That must be RAM utilization. I must have misselected that in the, I'm not going to go back out to try and do it now, but that must be the RAM utilization. And we're still getting this right now, even with getting shot, oh man. Even with getting shot, people are getting good at this game, man. I've been playing this game for like 2 days now. And people seem to be getting really, really, really good at this alpha. Definitely picking up on how to shoot, how to aim, how to spot enemies. It seems like people are spamming Q, from what I understand, and it's spotting enemies. I've read that on the forums, that it's spotting enemies on the other side of the map. Even though, right, so I'm looking right now, I'm kind of hitting Q. Yep, and it seems to be spotting enemies. It does. It's spotting enemies that I otherwise would never have seen. It spotted that guy up close. I think it's doing that. I think that's what it just did. I don't think I'm laying down targets. I think what it's doing is giving me a stupid little triangle of where an enemy's at, which is ridiculous. If I just mash Q, I can see an enemy. That's game breaking. You need to remove that, dice. Like, I think they should remove spotting like all together unless he's in your sights. Like, he's in your sights, you have him and you hit Q, that's it. You can hit Q and he's in your sights. You can spot him for your friends. But yeah, it's definitely spotting enemies. I mean, that's what it's doing, right? I mean, I think that's... Yep, there's a guy. So it is picked out that guy right there that I would never seen. So I see that guy there. I would have never seen him. So because I'm just running around mashing Q right now, it's gonna pick an enemy out if he pops into my screen. Okay, there he is. That's game breaking. That shouldn't occur. I didn't see him. Oh. See, I mashed Q, would never have spotted that guy either. Right? Would have never seen him. We're going to do one more quick test, guys, because I don't want this to go over 15 minutes. I'm already at 13 and a half minutes. And that last test is going to be, we'll play 720p. If somebody's like, oh, you know what? I'm willing to back it down to 720p. All right, so that's 720p at 144, low settings.
I need a ride, soldier.
Can't spot anybody out. I only have 5 bullets left. Might need some ammo for this fight. Nah, you know what? It really doesn't matter. I'm testing FPS. 90 frames a second right now. Couldn't shoot him. I had 5 bullets. I was waiting until I was right in front of him.
Attention, we are losing objective dog.
Overall, definitely not bad. We're above 90 frames a second right there, 80 frames a second. So if you want to play 720p, low settings on this game, you can expect around 90 frames a second. This is going to be your most competitive way to play the game and get the best performance. I do have these 7850 overclocked to 1150 megahertz, and I think it's like 1300 on the memory, which I don't remember what that kind of comes out to. Yeah, multiply it out. I think it's like a 5200. Is that about right? 52. That sounds about right to me. 5200. I think you'd multiply it by 4. Effective clock, and I think they can go all the way up to like 5500 effective clock, with its default being something like 45 or 46 effective clock on it. So I definitely have a little bit of an overclock on it, and it's having absolutely no issues at all, running really, really well. And I'm getting over 90 frames a second. You could definitely competitively play with this if you can deal with the lower settings that you're going to have to play at the low resolution. But for some people, that's not going to matter. They just want to get as many FPS as possible, like I'm doing right now, so that you can, you know. Let's see if I can find him. He's not down here. I don't know where he's at. You just want to competitively play and get the best settings you can possibly get with your older video card, so you can still play the game and have a competitive edge in some way. It's kind of hard to play sub 60 FPS and FPS competitive shooters, especially with ones with explosions going on and all kinds of things on your screen. They're going to start to blur it out and make it difficult to spot enemies and track them while you're shooting. Trying to spot enemies using the game-breaking bug. Okay, so it seems like this has been cleared out. I hope this video has been somewhat informative to somebody out there. I thought it'd be a cool test. Let's test out that modern GPU with a very dated GPU. So got the modern CPU with dated GPU, and just kind of see, you know, what does it look like?
Objective Fox is now ours.
Let's try this. Let's just try all this. Let's try ultra filtering and high anti-aliasing, and see if we can get a better image and still get 60 FPS. And right now, it appears that is entirely possible. We're still getting 80 frames a second. Got the anti-aliasing up. Got texture filtering up just to give us a little bit better image on the texturing. And we're still getting 80 frames a second plus. And remove some of the jaggy, so now it's a little bit easier to spot people. So you can play 720p, throw in some anti-aliasing, kick up your texture filtering, try and make it look a little bit better. Remove those jaggies so you can still spot your enemies, you know, a little bit easier. Thought he was going to try and get him up. I wanted to try and wait for that. And I'm actually having I could game with this. Honestly, like, my eyes have started to kind of adjust to this crappy resolution. If it wasn't, you know, if it wasn't as stretched, this would be easy to play. But the problem is on my screen, I'm running a 2x1 essentially for the pixels. That cannon. I knew he was just sitting in there. They're effective on this game. So I hope this video is informative to some of you guys out there. I'm going to stop the recording here. I think we got the point across. You could definitely play min-spec 7850 with a modern i7, maybe even an i5. I don't know how it would run with, you know, an older i5, say a 4690K or 4670K, one of those two. Or 2500K if you're even back that far, what your game experience might be like with something like that. But at least, where's he hiding at? Where is he hiding at?
Okay, we are losing objective.
He's in the house. Couldn't see him. This is what you're going to expect. We're about 20 minutes. We're going to end it here. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm getting my 1080 Ti back in the system. Enjoy.